Chapter 6158. Jacob raised his eyebrows and said disdainfully, "I'm afraid of him? He's not the general manager of the antique shop. I am also the executive vice president of the Painting and Calligraphy Association. He is just an old guy who can't survive. Will I be afraid of him?" After saying that, Jacob straightened his collar and snorted. "I'm going to see him. I want to FCK him in person. Isn't he awesome? Let's see how awesome he is this time." Irvin chuckled and said, "You are right, you are right. You have to FCK this kind of person in front of him. FCK him hard." After that, he quickly said, "But President Wilson, in a while, I will follow you quietly. If he starts to attack you, I will rush in and help you. If he doesn't dare to do it, just FCK him as much as you want." Jacob is also afraid of meeting someone on a narrow road. So, he waved his hand. "Let's go, I'll go first, you follow me, and act accordingly." Charlie in the tea house felt relieved when he saw that Peter must have picked up a big leak. The father-in-law wanted to trick him, but unexpectedly he shot himself in the foot. Although Charlie guessed that his father-in-law must have made some money, there would be no actual loss. But with his character, once he knew that he had given tens of millions of profits would probably make him unable to eat for a few days. However, Charlie thinks this is a good thing. At the very least, the father-in-law must be taught a lesson. Even if he has earned 200,000 yuan, he would rather not earn 200,000 yuan than Peter earn more. Therefore, this matter will definitely become his long-term nightmare and inner demon. As for Irvin, Charlie also planned to find an opportunity to teach him a lesson. This man was really smart, but he must use it on the right path. Otherwise, he would have to find an opportunity to whip him. Just when Charlie was relieved and ready to leave the tea house and go home, a familiar figure suddenly appeared at the corner of the intersection downstairs. It turned out to be his father-in-law, Jacob, walking over with a proud look on his face. Immediately afterward, Irvin also appeared sneakily behind Jacob. Charlie couldn't help but thought to himself, "Is this a slap in the face?" So he sat back on his seat again, planning to watch the fun. Peter was taking pictures of the bronze Buddha in the store at this time. He knew some websites where antique collectors from all over the world communicate with each other. He planned to send the bronze Buddha to a local Chinese website and quoted a price that was more favorable than the market price to see if there was someone who wanted to take over right away. This kind of website is generally relatively private. The operator does not take the initiative to do any large-scale promotion. It relies entirely on face-to-face invitations to high-end players offline. It is very similar to a high-end club. However, this kind of club is only online, and only the rank and strength are enough. Only after you reach a certain rank will you know the existence of this kind of website. On this kind of website, big guys will post some buying and selling information. Many times, high-end players like to keep a low profile when exchanging collections and do not want to go through auctions. So they will do it one-on-one through this channel. Contact each other, and if they are interested in each other, they will also conduct undisclosed offline transactions. This is why, for many collections, everyone only knows that they exist, but they don't know who owns them. Peter registered a new account on this website and paid a registration fee of 10,000 yuan. The website is anonymous, so it is very safe. After registering the account, he planned to post the photos and information of the bronze Buddha, and then quote a price of 20 million. In his opinion, this price is not high. The gilt bronze Buddha's valuation would be around 100 million. But now that the gilt is gone, a 30% discount is reasonable. On the basis of the 30% discount, he has reduced the price by another 10 million or 20 million. Which should be said to be a very good deal. Moreover, there are very few bronze Buddhas from the Northern Song dynasty. And sometimes not a new one can be produced in a year. Collectors who really want it will even be willing to pay a premium. So he believes that as long as the things are sent out, they should be available tonight. Just as he was writing the introduction, there was a knock on the door. He raised his head and looked outside, and saw Jacob standing outside the door. looking in through the glass window. Peter naturally recognized Jacob. In order to attract Charlie, he deliberately tried to be closer to Jacob. Now when he saw Jacob suddenly appearing outside the store, he immediately understood what happened today. At this moment, he couldn't help but laugh in his heart, thinking to himself, "It turns out that person was ordered by Jacob." Thinking of this, he put down his mobile phone, shook his head and walked to the door with a smile and opened it. After opening the door, Peter looked at Jacob, who looked proud outside the door, and smiled politely. "Oh, it turns out to be Mr. Wilson, long time no see." Jacob let out a disdainful laugh between his breaths, smacked his lips, and said, "Oh, Manager Jew, when did you come back? Why didn't you say hello on WeChat? You have my WeChat account, right?" Peter raised his hand and said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson, I came back low-key this time and no one was informed." Jacob said with a smile, "You guys, you are so low-key, you just want to make a fortune in silence, right?" Peter smiled and said, "I don't dare, I just want to go back to Oris Hill to do some small business. I don't dare to expect to make any big fortune." "Exactly." Jacob curled his lips, pointed at Peter with his finger, and said with emotion, Old Jew, you are dishonest. You just picked up a big leak. And you still tell me that you don't expect to get rich. Who can believe this?" Peter was slightly stunned, and then said with a smile, "Oh, Mr. Wilson's information is so good, I just received the thing, and you heard the news." Looking at it, he said with some humility, "I was also lucky. I received a pretty good item. To be honest, this was completely unplanned. I didn't expect that I would find something like that just after I opened the business." Jacob said with disdain, "Oh, you haven't woken up from this dream yet?" "Me?" Peter asked in surprise, "What do Mr. Wilson mean by this?" Jacob said sarcastically, "Look at the short video website, you are in Oris Hill antique circles become famous. Now everyone in the industry has given you a nickname. The old boy who makes money on the antique street. You, Manager Jew, are really awesome this time."